God damn, is this a great anime. Seriously, every single week I leave just smiling so happy. Doesn't matter how good or bad my day has been, this series just makes me incredibly happy. And I can't wait to see how many people are going to be up in arms like, oh my god, another cliffhanger, it's gonna ruin everything, and then next week will come around and this kind of giant cliffhanger will be pretty easily avoided, or it will somehow implement itself into the next arc. Like last week, everyone was freaking out. I saw quite a few people online from Reddit to Twitter to even a couple of my own comment sections saying like, what's in that cupboard? Like, what could be so bad that she's hiding it? And it just turns out that it's just, you know, a little sister memorial saying like, I love my little sis. This is a series that really loves its cliffhangers, but I think at this point we should really expect the cliffhangers are just a way to keep us interested in the next episode, but it's not gonna ruin everything. I mean, yeah, everyone's realizing that she probably has a boyfriend, and maybe she'll lose a couple of gigs, but I do expect that it might tie into the little sister arc that's coming up next, because it does look like Sakta's little sis is the one getting the next arc, but time will tell, though I don't think we need to worry just yet. The series has proven that its cliffhangers are really just kind of a bit of a bait to keep us watching, even though all of us are probably going to watch anyways without the cliffhangers. Once again though, we have a really satisfying arc, a very short arc, but a very short, sweet, and to the point, and I think it was quite effective. I mean, this episode, it really pulls on your heartstrings, I gotta say, with how it implements the idea of family, and, you know, parents aren't going to be perfect, and that was kind of the whole point of Sakta kind of talking with his dad, saying like, you know, were you ready to be a father? And he's like, shit, we had no idea what the hell we were doing with you kids because there's no experience. And I think it was kind of nice how Sakta's this kind of guy who like recognizes like, yeah, his parents aren't perfect. No, he's the one who's raising his little sister because, you know, his father had to look out for the mother, and just, you know, they're kind of distant, they're not really that close, but they're family, and he recognizes that he can't really love or hate or really have any one strong feeling for his parents because they're his parents. Whether they do right or wrong doesn't change that fact. And I thought that was a nice way to kind of set the viewer's expectations that parents aren't perfect, so then when we do get Mai and her sister and the whole mother situation there, you're not as pissed off with the mother, because last week I think most of us could agree like their parents were just absolute lunatics and horrible people. You know, the fact that Mai had to meet her little sister just in such a fan-like way, like, hey, I'm a big fan of yours, but I'm also your little sister, like, that's kind of sad that for the longest time, Mai didn't even know that she had a half-sister, and just how you really want to be like, these parents suck, but then you also see the mother, even though she isn't doing everything right, at the end of the day, she is kind of sad that she is making her daughter suffer, and it's kind of an interesting thing, because the families aren't perfect, but I didn't come into this episode hating them as much as I did with last week. I really felt like they hammered in enough of a way to make the viewer say, yeah, these parents aren't the best, but honestly, I think Sakta's got the right idea. You can't really have one strong opinion on them. You kind of just have to say they're your parents. They're not perfect. They obviously don't know what the hell they're doing, but that's kind of part of being a grown-up and kind of learning how to become a parent, especially it's even harder when your kids are kind of like semi-famous, so it makes it even more difficult than someone like, say, Sakta's father and mother, where they just had to deal with a weird anomaly with this adolescent syndrome. I thought it was really nice how they handled it, and the fact that they used this like snapping effect, the sound effect when Mai and her sister like transformed back, I was thoroughly confused. I was like, what the hell was that? The sound effect sounded like a bone snapping, but when it got revealed that they didn't actually like switch personalities, just their appearance changed, like they kind of took the blueprints of each other, that was actually really interesting. It made a whole lot of sense, but there was a good like 10 seconds I was like, okay, I thought they just kind of like switched kind of like Freaky Friday style, but it turns out that they actually just switched appearance like literally, which I thought was nice. I mean, this episode was very, very entertaining. I mean, the whole idea, like, it was clear what was going to happen. Like, it was clear like Mai loved her sister, but she's not the greatest with words at times. And I think the idea that Mai's only reason that she kept up at being famous was because she had the support of her little sister, and the little sister thought she was just a bother, because she thought because they didn't share the same mother, there's no way that she could love her as a full sister the way she does, and she looked up to her as this grand idol. I mean, her mother thought that she needed to be like her, and it kind of ate away at her, and I think that's a really interesting motive. Like, I think that's a really interesting way to grip the viewer over this 2-episode arc, because you got an older sister who, yeah, maybe she should have just sat down and talked with her, but she kind of has her own ways of kind of dealing with her complex feelings. But the fact that she almost gave up but didn't because she had this like love and affection from her like #1 fan who also happened to be her half sister, I thought was really sweet and beautiful. And that whole kind of conversation at the end there was just really touching. And I think how they directed that with that snap that sounded like a bone snap to them transforming back, everything about how it was directed, the voice acting, I think both voice actors just absolutely killed it. You felt a lot of emotion, some heartbreak, some anger, but also a little bit of hopefulness from both of them. And Sakta just chilling in the background being like, thank God this is finally over. I can finally start flirting with my girlfriend again. man. That man has his priorities set, I'll say that. Everything about this, though, I thought was just really satisfying. Like, this was an arc that, it's not my favorite arc, but it was just so satisfying. The fact that Mai got to be put into even more of a spotlight. I mean, she hasn't been pushed to the sidelines like other series in this kind of formula where, oh, we're just going to focus on a new character. No, it's he still has his girlfriend and she's going to remain relevant, but it was nice to have Mai back into the real center focus where we're really seeing how she's dealing with her family, because her family life is really messed up, but it was nice to see a conclusion that didn't end up with her parent forgetting who she was, but instead, she actually got to bond with her sister so much that they're now living together. I think just the two of them, like, it was just so nice, because you got a character who's like, why the hell is my sister dating such a scumbag? To then when it ends, she's like, I get why my sister's dating you. You're actually a pretty okay guy. You're a bit perverted, but you're a pretty okay guy. I'm really excited, though, to see how this final arc is going to be, because we do have the movie, which is the arc after Sakta's little sister, but still, I'm interested to see how this, because I think it's going to be 3 episodes, how it's going to play a factor, because I have a sneaking suspicion that this cliffhanger isn't just going to be a one and done deal. It's somehow going to translate possibly to his little sister's arc, maybe. Something like that could happen, which I think would be really nice. If not, that'll still be fine. I mean, she's really grown into a character far past just the little sister trope. I mean, she has a reason for being so secluded, why she is so attached to her big brother. I mean, they definitely still bait the viewer in with the traditional kind of like, oh, it's kind of like this sort of fan service scene, but this is a series that's actually respectable, so you know it's not going to go really cringy and bad. But it'll be interesting to see if she can actually take herself out of the shell and actually put herself out there. She's starting to take some steps there. She's putting on her uniform, and I'm really hoping that she can get out of there and maybe escape this kind of torment from her past. Overall, though, this was a really satisfying episode. I mean, Sakta and Mai and the sister, and even Sakta's little sister, there was just so many little moments. It was really about family this week, really showing you that families aren't perfect and there's no way to fully prepare for being a parent. Sometimes shit just happens, and I think when you're thrown into the world of fame, it gets even harder for parents, and they're gonna make mistakes. There's no excuses, but maybe we shouldn't just hate them because they kind of messed up. I think it was a nice message overall. Great voice acting. I think actually the voice acting is my favorite part of this episode. I really think the performances were just out of this world. Like, honestly, it was so just impactful. It really felt like you're listening to a real family kind of breakup / reunion scene all at the same time, because you really felt like these were two sisters who thought they were supposed to hate each other, but really loved each other more than anything in the world, and everyone came out understanding that's okay, you don't have to be like me unless you want to. That's just a nice message overall. Let me know whatever you thought of this week's episode of Bunny Girl Senpai down in the comment section below. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Your favorite moment? Let me know whatever you're feeling, and be sure to like the video if you did enjoy, and also hit that subscribe button if you want to see more content from me in the future. So until next time, everyone, please take care, have a good one.